Are you struggling to view the contents of a database created with the Room Persistence Library in Android Studio? You're not alone. Today, we're going to simplify this process and show you how to easily access your database contents. I totally get it. It can be really frustrating when you want to see your data, but the tools seem complicated or hidden. Many developers face this challenge, especially when they're just starting out with Room. Here's the specific question we're addressing. One user asked, is there any easier way to see the contents of the database created with Room Persistence Library in Android Studio? If this sounds like you, stick around as we explore some straightforward solutions. So why is this a common issue? The Room Persistence Library abstracts a lot of the database interactions, which is great for development, but can make it tricky to view the actual data. Let's break this down and find a way to make it easier. And don't go anywhere. I have a fantastic tip at the end that will make your database management even smoother. To view the contents of a database created with the Room Persistence Library, the user should first ensure that they have the Android Studio Database Inspector enabled. Next, the user needs to run their application on an emulator or a physical device. This is essential because the database inspector connects to the running app. Once the application is running, the user can open the database inspector. This tool will display the databases associated with the app. Now the user can expand the database to see the tables and their contents. This allows for easy inspection of the data stored in the Room database. Finally, the user can execute SQL queries directly in the database inspector to filter or manipulate the data as needed. Fun fact, the Room Persistence Library is named after the concept of rooms in databases, which are essentially just organized spaces for your data. So think of it as your data's cozy home. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. One user shares an alternative method to view the contents of a database created with the Room Persistence Library. First, download the DB browser from the provided link. Then, access the Device File Explorer in Android Studio and copy 3 specific files, your DB-gem, and your DB-wall. After copying, paste them into a folder using Ctrl-Shift-S. Finally, open the Your DB file with the DB browser app. That's it for that answer. Let's take a look at another one. An alternative solution from another user suggests using the Database Inspector in Android Studio version 4.1 Canary 6 and higher. This tool allows you to inspect, query, and modify your app's databases directly. You can even debug your running app by changing values in the database and testing those changes in real time. Now, let's dive into a different answer from another user. An alternative approach to view the contents of a database created with the Room Persistence Library is to use the Database Inspector in the latest versions of Android Studio. You can access it through the App Inspection tool window. Once you select the process, the Database Inspector will display the database contents, making it easy to view your data. Now, let's dive into a different answer from another user. One alternative approach to view the contents of a database created with the Room Persistence Library is to use the DB browser for SQLite. First, in Android Studio, navigate to View, then Tool Windows, and select Device File Explorer. From there, go to the Data directory, find your project package name, and access the database folder. Save the database file to your desktop. Next, install the DB browser for SQLite. You can do this by running sudo apt-get install SQLite browser in your terminal. After installation, open the DB browser, select the database file you saved, and click on Browse Data to view your tables. Let's check out another perspective from a different user. An alternative approach to view the contents of a database created with the Room Persistence Library is to use the Database Inspector in Android Studio. This tool allows you to easily inspect your database. Here's that fantastic tip I promised. Regularly check your database using the Database Inspector during development. This habit will save you time and help you catch issues early. And there you have it. You can now easily view the contents of your database created with the Room Persistence Library. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks, and remember to keep exploring your data.